So before I start, a brilliant afternoon to all of you. I think firstly to the parents, I don't know where the parents are sitting, but I think it's a big day for everybody. सब कहीं कहीं दूर दूर से आए हैं, so I think a big round of applause for the parents, for their children today. I don't know अगर कोई grandparents हैं, siblings हैं, मतलब I think the family is the first unit for all the students who are graduating. So even if they are not here, I think just pass on the best wishes from all of us. I think a big round of applause for the teachers. The whole staff of VidyaGyan School, the administration staff. I think school is a management unit. Yes, teachers play a very important role, but there's a whole machinery working behind them. So definitely, and maybe I would say a standing ovation for the teachers, given it was Guru Purnima yesterday. So again, another round of applause for them. And now for the graduating class. Thank you. I would say that I heard there was a party yesterday and maybe a lot of you have lost all your energy there. Definitely applause for you should be much stronger. I think it's a very big day for all of you. It's a big day for all of us. We seem to be stepping out of our homes, out of our comfort zones into a new life. And I would say there might be a sense of excitement, nervousness, sadness of what we are leaving behind. But maybe a quick show of hands. How many of you feel excited about tomorrow? Very few. Come on. Nervousness? Okay, very few. So I don't know. You're feeling happy, sad? How do you describe your feelings? Okay, as I was driving here, I was remembering the day I graduated from school, and I think that was several years ago. But the day is still etched in my memory, and I would say those were the feelings I had, full of excitement about what the future had. Nervousness because there was so much of a familiarity of the school, of the home, and now you were stepping out into the real world. I think sad that you're leaving behind teachers, friends, family, wherever we are going to, and also a feeling of happiness because 17 years of effort have led to some fruit. And I think in that context, earlier I used to say I was excited but nervous, and recently I met a life coach who said, just remove the words but and because from your dictionary. So I don't know if there are any grammar teachers or English teachers, you can close your ears. This is, in your SAT test, CAT test, please use but and because the way you're taught. But I think in real life, if you just try and switch the but and because to and, just to give you examples, this is a great hall, but the air conditioning is not as good, versus this is a great hall and the air conditioning could be better. I think just allows more positivity, it allows more action, it allows, to be more in control and more accountable. So if you say we lost the match because the team wasn't coordinated, versus we lost the match and we'll do better in team coordination, it just says you're taking more charge of your life. So I would say most of you are close to being adults, at least the graduating class. I mean, even the class 11, 12, very soon, the country allows you to vote. You're allowed to choose your, government. So you're definitely allowed to choose some or make some life decisions for you. So as you get into that decision-making more, just take more charge, take more control. Do not blame or do not find excuses for, all the circumstances for where you are. So, and I don't know how much this resonates with you, but I know you're just starting off into the world. And I would say that when I was stepping into college, there was a very high sense of fear that, so far I've done well, I was in a very closed community, and now, you're almost competing with the best in the world, whether I will be able to do that, whether I will be able to survive. And I think the best piece of advice there is Like, just find the real you, invest in yourself. Do not fear competition. That's a part of you. Do not think, how will I make friends? In order to make friends, I'll have to do X, Y, Z. I'll have to be on social media or whatever. I'll have to be more trendy. I think, after whatever, almost 50 years of life, I feel just knowing yourself and being true to who you are is the most important. Friends will come, yes, they're very important, but ultimately it's you who will lead your life. So every day, if you can spend 5 minutes, even, just reflecting on the past, thinking about what you want to do, and what your values are, what your core ecosystem is, I think that goes a long way in life. So as I was thinking about today, actually, no, it's fine. As I was thinking about today, I was also asking my son, he graduated last year, so he's just finished his first year, so almost as old as you, and I said, what should I be talking about? And he said, nothing. People don't want to hear anything when they're this young. They want to get their certificates and move on. They don't want your life lessons. So it's their day. Ask them what they want to hear. So I don't know, maybe I'll see if there are any hands coming up on people who want to just share something about their life or their experience at VidyaGyan. No, all hands down. Okay, we heard some stories just now. And also, I had the privilege of meeting a few people from Susan Foundation and VidyaGyan, and they've told me stories about several of you. Some were mentioned today, some were not. And I think each and every story is so full of talent, grit, perseverance, and optimism that I think there's a lot that we can learn from you. So I would just say, each of you is special, each of you is a rock star, each of you is important. You may or may not have the college you wanted, but this is just the beginning. You're just entering life, so it's okay. Life has its ups and downs. You may have got the college you wanted, or you may not. I think just take everything in its stride, give it its best. I would say, as you move out into this world, a few things that will always be helpful is curiosity. Just keep finding out. Don't lose the spirit of questioning. You need to learn more. Optimism. There is a brighter future tomorrow. You may be at the peak today, and yet, there's something more positive to look forward to. Effort. Extremely important. I don't think anything in life comes without hard work or effort. You may see people and say, oh, they're lucky they got this, got through this, or so-and-so is intelligent, he didn't study, but he got through this exam. Believe me, these are just one or two exams that you've seen. There's several more in life that come through at work, at home, in the community. And each of these, unless you're prepared, unless you've put in the effort, success is difficult. And then I would say friendships or anchors. And I can go into a long list of who a true friend is, what type of friends you should make. I don't think there's any secret success recipe there. I would just say, always have anchors around you, people whom you can go and talk to freely. They could be friends, they could be peers, they could be teachers, mentors. They're all extremely important. So have them. There are times when you want to cry out. There are times when you need advice. So have people around you. Even if you are overseas and they're here, but know who your anchors or your support system is. And the most important is you. So I keep coming back to you, but because you are the most important person in your own life as well as in the world. I think each of us is different. The world is made to be diverse. You cannot be a Saksham cannot be you, because he has a different path and you have a different path. So you need to say, this is what I want to do in life, and this is how I want to do it. And draw your own path, take control. So I repeat, And my son had told me, do not repeat, but at the sake of it. Curiosity, optimism, effort, friendships or anchors, and you yourself. I mean, I think those are the 5 things. If you continue with them, they really get you to success. I was thinking I will share a story from my childhood. It may seem boring for some of you, but yet, at the sake of that, let me go ahead. And I think I'll begin with what I learned from that is just always try and find positivity. So I think, like most of you, I also used to stay in a very small, I don't know whether it was a village. My father was in the railways. He was a civil engineer. So we used to stay in a very small place in Bengal, where in my kindergarten, I used to go to a very small school, 2 rooms. I could go into any teacher, any classroom, was very spoiled. And then we moved to a bigger city called Guwahati, which for me was like a big transformation. Somebody staying in Delhi, like Guwahati is a very small city. Of course, I had been to Delhi, my grandparents were here, but in my world, like the world had changed when I moved to Guwahati. And in class 1, I was put into this decently big-sized school. It was called St. Mary's Convent, and it was a missionary school, 3 stories, maybe 50 classrooms, just a size I wasn't used to, nuns all around. And I mean, I was not aware of what a nun was. In my mind, they seemed more like nurses who would inject you the moment they saw you. And they spoke in English, which was, again, not a language I was very comfortable with. And every morning, my father literally had to force me to go to school. And I was like, I don't want to go to school. I mean, so much so that, my sister makes fun of me that they really used to beat you. You had a tortured childhood and all of that. So again, I think reflecting back, I could really say I did have a tortured childhood, or, my parents didn't understand what my issues were. And at the same time, I feel that somehow because of that experience, it just taught me more empathy and sensitivity. If a person is saying no, or if a person is not performing, or his or her views differ from you, I think just try and scratch the surface to find out a little more. And I think today that empathy, that sensitivity has become a core part of me and has helped me, just to get to where I am. So again, I think it's the perspective you take. Every situation, every circumstances can throw up a lot of scenarios, positive, negative, neutral. I think just try and look for the positive in it. Every day you can find something positive that happened, and some days it may be harder, but just make the effort to find something positive. So I would just say, never ever give up on optimism and hope. They are extremely important anchors as we go forward. Let me switch to something else. Maybe this may see more hands. How many of you have heard of Sundar Pichai? Okay, excellent. Indra Nui? Wow, okay. Kailash Satyarthi? Excellent. I see. Sorry, maybe I'm looking at you and not looking there. I see more hands here, not there. Okay. PV Sindhu. Wow. VS Datta. Okay. I thought a few hands may come up just saying, oh, how can I show that I don't know this person? You're not supposed to know VS Datta. You should not be knowing him. The reason I put it in is he's my father. And I feel I learned a lot from him. So, I think all the others created a page in sort of the world's history. I feel he created the foundation in my history. And, he did well for himself, but he didn't become world famous or India famous. But I think the path he had set out for himself was to be happy, to be inspiring, to spread positivity around you. And I just think, it's not just me and my sister, like his 2 daughters, who feel that but I think all his friends, people who came in contact with him, that he would give you the confidence that you can climb Mount Everest, and yet if you fell at the first 100 feet, he would still make you feel that you've reached the top. And I think that's the positivity that you're looking around. So I would say success can be defined in many ways. Again, you are entering the world. You can chart out your destiny, define what you want to be, in terms of life goals, business goals, life values, and just stay with that. And I'm sure you will have an excellent future, and hopefully you will be in the list of the PV Sindhus and the Sundar Pichais, where all hands go up, if that is what you want. So I think do not ever undermine what you can do, what the limits are. Do not look back at where you started. I think each day is a new starting. Go from there and create your own ending. That would be and just before I wrap up, I put this in my children's room. I don't think they read it, but I'll read it out here. So these are some words from C.S. Lewis and C.S. Robin. Risk more than required. I think if you don't take risks in life, your trajectory will not change. Learn more than the normal. As I said, curiosity and learning is the bedrock of your success. Be strong, show courage, breathe, take the time for yourself, get the laps and wait and reflect. Excel in everything you do. I think one needs to adore mastery. You need to have a passion for perfection. And it's not, again, that everybody needs to have the same passion or the same, your goals may be different, your paths may be different. But I think in everything that you do, do not, settle for mediocrity, aim for excellence. That's what you are meant to be. That's what's set you apart. And I think each of us have that spark in us to make that happen. Doing all that, stay humble, learn from others. Again, recognize everybody is different. Very rarely do you, not never, but very rarely do you see arrogant people succeed. So always stay humble. Shatter your limits. Transcend your fears. Dream big. And I don't know, again, how many of you are familiar with Ronnie Screwvala? So he's maybe not an emerging, but a large entrepreneur, more of the recent generation, and he sold his business to Disney. He's written a book called Dream with Your Eyes Open. So yes, dream big, and when you dream at night, I think you forget the dream, or it's just an imagination and no roadmap to it. Dream while you're awake, make the roadmap to your dream and work on it. But always start small. And remember, you will have hiccups along the way. Do not get shattered by that. I would say never, ever give up. You do not have the luxury of giving up. You are, as I said, the most precious stone for your parents, for your families, for your communities, for India, for the world. So you do not, as I said, it's not an option. You cannot give up. Just keep going on and go ahead and change the world. Thank you.